Alright, so I'm about to beat Assassin's Creed 3 for the second time, because it's on PlayStation Plus. And if you know, I didn't like it when I first played through it. I traded it in, and it went free on PlayStation Plus, and I played through it again. And so we're gonna watch the ending, and I'm gonna give you my final thoughts, and if my opinion's changed on the game or not.
Moment of truth.
I feel like of any of franchise, I feel like the Assassin's Creed franchise, I feel like I'm most connected to. You know, it sounds a bit cheesy, I guess, but you know, I feel so. I can't really explain, but you know what I mean.
Yes. Come. Here, at last. You know our story now. Of how we tried. Of how we failed. All our hopes extinguished. Save one. Your touch. A spark. A spark to save the world.
Wait! Do not touch the pedestal.
Minerva?
You. But how? You left. You destroyed the device.
Did you think there was only one?
What the hell is going on here?
You must not free her.
Free her?
Juno dwells within these walls, awaiting release. I will explain. While we worked to save the world, she sought instead to conquer it. She used our machines to set her plans in motion. Divination through numbers. There is a pattern to existence. To comprehend the calculations is to tame time. This was my focus. And so I built the Eye to aid us. But she turned it towards her own ends. When we discovered her treachery, we put a stop to it. And then we left. But first we called to you, that you might try again. We thought it would be safe with her gone. Now I see we were deceived. She survived, she endured, and then she began to work. For centuries, Tinia and I walked the world, hoping to rekindle the spark of civilization. We shared what we knew as best we could. We were not the only ones, but for all the power we wrought, still death would claim us. But before it did, I would have one last look to know if we had succeeded.
That's how you're here now?
I had hoped you might find this place and finish our work. But it is too late. You and the Templars have squabbled over our refuse. You have wasted centuries, and so you have lost your chance. You cannot hope to stop the end now, Desmond. Only to survive.
She's lying! Only touch the pedestal and the world will be saved.
Better the world burn than she be loosed upon it.
Is that so? Show him then.
But he will not understand. It is complicated. It is...
Show me.
If you heed Minerva, the sun will have its way. The ground will crack and spit fire into the skies. All the world will burn. But this does not end the world, merely heralds its arrival. Darkness follows. Then you emerge, resolving to lay a foundation that such a tragedy does not befall the world again. You will become a symbol to those who survive. Hope, knowledge, determination. You will inspire them to rebuild, to thrive once more. And as the world heals, so too will humanity. But you are just a man, frail and mortal. You pass from the world, leaving behind only a memory. A legacy. You will be remembered first as a hero, later as a legend, and in time, as a god. It is the cruelest fate to have written words that meant well, and see them made wicked and unwise. What was meant to encourage life, used instead to justify taking it. And so now you see that what was shall be again. So tell me, how is this better?
She would sacrifice you, sacrifice the world, for no other reason than to deny me vindication.
They will enslave your kind, Desmond. Is this not why you fight? Is this not why you came here? To ensure more than just your race's future, but its freedom?
What future? What freedom? Billions dead and the whole cycle begun anew? This world has known nothing but heartache and horror since we left it.
Our gift to them, and you'd see it all returned.
Enough!
You must not do this.
Whatever Juno's planning, however terrible it might seem today, we'll find a way to stop it. But the alternative, what you want, there's no hope there.
If you free her, you'll be destroyed.
It will happen in an instant. There will be no pain.
You mustn't.
It's done, Minerva. The decision's made.
Then the consequences of this mistake are yours to live and die with.
You need to go. All of you. Now. Get as far away from here as you can.
Come with us. We'll find another way.
There isn't time.
Son.
You know it's true. It's already started. I need to do this now. So go. Go!
It's some sort of global aurora borealis. Never seen anything like this before. Eyewitnesses describe electrical storms and erratic displays of unusual weather. Residents are being asked to remain inside and wait for geological surveys are now reporting seismic activity throughout the Ring of Fire. Northeastern Canada is said to be experiencing the largest on record. Satellites and transformers are failing as the flare increases in intensity. Worldwide reports of blackouts seems to be receding. Residual seismic and volcanic activity is being reported, but nothing approaching earlier levels. Obviously, it'll be a while before experts are able to assess the full extent of the damage caused by today's event. But it appears the worst is behind us. We'll be sure to bring you more as this story develops.
It is done. The world is saved. You played your part well, Desmond. But now it's time that I played mine.
So, I mean, So some background. I played the first one, second one, Brotherhood. I played halfway through Revelations. I never beat it. So I know in Revelations there was so much I missed. Like, they put everything in Revelations. They put a massive bit in the end, and they put all Desmond's backstory in it. I did watch the ending of Revelations. I never beat Revelations because I just found it. I mean, a lot of people didn't like Revelations. They basically went too, you know, they went too much with Ezio's story. They, they really stretched it a bit, and so by Revelations people were bored by it. I took about halfway through it and never actually beat it. And I know I watched the ending of Assassin's Creed Revelations, but I never beat it. I will beat it. I will get Revelations one day, and I will beat it, and I'll probably understand it more. I mean, I'm gonna have to beat Revelations. I'm such a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. I have to beat Revelations just to beat it and understand some of the story. And that being said, I still don't understand. I just don't understand it. I never understood it. I never understood it. I understand. So, I'm so excited for Assassin's Creed 4 to find out if this has got anything to do with it, because they can't just end it like that and then have not have some sort of Juno not in Assassin's Creed 4, or I mean they can't just kill Desmond off like that and take him, and his family and his dad and Rebecca and because to me, the Desmond storyline is probably like the most interesting part of Assassin's Creed for me. So, I really find the Minerva Juno, the end of the world bit, like probably the most interesting part of the games. Like Assassin's Creed stories are pretty confusing, I would say, and you can get pretty lost. And if you haven't played one of the Assassin's Creed games, you'll probably be lost. So, I mean, in Assassin's Creed 2, it was basically in this. There was nothing until right at the end. And then in Brotherhood, there was more, and then in Revelations, there was more, and then in Assassin's Creed 3, it was like a lot of it. A lot of Juno and Minerva and stuff like that. You get a lot of the backstory of Juno, of how they tried to save the world before. But anyway, my thoughts on the game. I like it now. For some reason, when I first played it, I didn't like it at all. But now I actually really enjoy playing through it. I don't know. I would say I can't say what one's worse, Revelations or this one, because I actually really liked it now. But I never actually. The reason why I was able to beat this game the first time I played through it was because I really was interested in the story, and Revelations just bored me. I was never bored of Assassin's Creed 3 when I first played it. I didn't like it when I first played it, but I never bored of it, so I still beat it. Assassin's Creed Revelations, I got really bored of it, so I never beat it. So, I mean, I think they improved the free running. I think the free running is more fun, but they made it worse because there's not much free running. There's not much building to building to building because of the fact that buildings are so far away from each other, and there's so many guards on the rooftops. And so I think they're going to improve that in Assassin's Creed 4. I think hopefully there's more free running. I mean, they've gradually gone away from an Assassin's Creed game. Assassin's Creed 4 now, it's all about your ship. And, not on foot. And no more free running. Not as much free running, which is always a big part. I mean, I don't know, But anyway, Assassin's Creed 3, I really did enjoy it. I actually got control of the combat and actually started to really enjoy the combat. The story, I think, is actually the best out of all of them. But I feel like... Here's the thing. Assassin's Creed 3 is really open. But I feel like it's a lot more linear. Because it's basically mission to 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 mission. In Assassin's Creed 2 in Brotherhood, it was like mission, free roam, stuff like that. It feels a lot more handholdy and linear, this one does. Which is a shame. Like, they took away the armor system, which is silly. I had no idea why they did that. So Assassin's Creed 2, you would constantly go to a shop to upgrade your armor, and while you were there, you would buy weapons. Now I bought one weapon with the whole game, and I used it like once. Like, the game is very open, but it's very linear, because there was no reason to buy weapons in Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood, really, but because you really wanted to upgrade your armor, that you would buy weapons, because you would go to while you were buying armor, you would look at the weapons and you would buy some more. And now there's no point to even go to the shops at all, other than to buy some arrows, and you can just loot them if you want, or you can just buy them off of carts. There's no real reason to get money. There's a big reason to get money, right? To upgrade your ship. But I don't know if anyone would actually get the money while they're playing the game. They'll be like, what will happen is they'll play for because the campaign is so handholdy, and basically it's like, do this mission now, do the next mission now. For me, in Assassin's Creed 3, I went from mission to mission to mission to mission, and then did all the side stuff after I'd beaten the game. And so, because of that, I had no money to upgrade my ship. So you had to do this the convoy thing. But the convoy thing, they introduce it like when you like almost first meet Achilles, and then they really half-ass the tutorial. The tutorial sucks for the convoy, and then they basically never say use it again. Like, you will never use it once until you actually need, because like in Assassin's Creed 2, you would constantly be getting money because of your home. You'd upgrade your village, your villa, and you get money, and you'd want to do that. But in this game, you don't want to do that. It's like it's difficult to explain, because you're not going to get any money, and you're not going to be able to upgrade your ship, and you're not going to do the convoy stuff because it's so linear. The campaign's so linear. I did all the side missions after I'd beaten the game, because, like I said, the game is so handheldy, and the game, there's no real reason to do the other side missions until while you're playing through the campaign. Not like Assassin's Creed 2, you would want to do the side missions, you would want to do side stuff, you would want to collect feathers, you would want to collect more weapons. In this game, you don't really want to do that until after you've beaten the game, and that's the problem I have with it. I'm glad they went the direction they did, because I'm glad they actually made, like, it feels quite different from the other Assassin's Creed games, which I'm glad they did. So they actually moved away from it, because it was getting really repetitive and boring with Revelations, and I'm so excited for Assassin's Creed 4 to see what they do with it. So that's my thoughts on Assassin's Creed 3. It's a complicated story, complicated matter. My opinion's very complicated on it. I don't really know how to explain it, but I just feel like something about the way you get money, something about the way the side missions are laid out for you, something about the way the convoy system is laid out for you, you're not going to do it until after you've beaten the game. But in Assassin's Creed 2, the way if it was laid out for you, you would want to do it while you're playing through the campaign. You would do a mission, and then you would go back to your village, do this, get some money, buy some weapons, buy some armor, do some side stuff. Then you'd go and do another mission, and go, you would do the side stuff while you're beating the game. In this game, I did the side stuff after I'd beaten the game, because of the way it was laid out. So yeah. And I'm not saying like they should constantly pop up to say, oh, here's a side mission, do this, do this, do this. They didn't do that in Assassin's Creed 2 or Brotherhood either, but there's something about the way they were laid out, you would do the side stuff. It's really confusing. That's the thoughts. I mean, Assassin's Creed... So let's say what ones in order, what I think's the best. Last place is Assassin's Creed Revelations. Then it's third. Then it's 1, and then I think 2 and Brotherhood are tied for first, because I love those two so much. So, yeah. I really hope 4 is good. The credits go a bit more, I don't know if there's anything after the credits or not, I can't remember. I wonder if you can skip them. Nope, you can't skip the credits. Boo. So, I mean, I think... it's weird. I mean, Assassin's Creed has always had a weird story. It's had, like, you didn't know the world was gonna end. You didn't get the world ending plot until like Revelations, and you didn't. And like, it's so confusing. Like, what happened with Lucy, and then Subject 16. I never beat Revelations, so I don't know what happened with Subject 16. And then I love the story 'cause it's so complicated and all over the place, and I really like that. And the ending of Assassin's Creed 1 is amazing. You know, the boss fight at the end is incredible. Because in Assassin's Creed 1, it's basically you are in the dark for the whole game. You don't know what's going on, and then at the end you still don't really know what's going on. And then by the end of Assassin's Creed 3, you still don't know what's going on because the story is so complicated. So, bum 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 bum. I'm telling you, if they don't have the present day stuff in Assassin's Creed 4, I'm not going to be happy, because I really like it, and they can't just leave. There's obviously people hate Assassin's Creed 3 ending because it is terrible. It's not because it's bad. It's just that it ends really just like that. You know, Desmond's dead. Desmond just dies, and then Juno's escapes. And you're like, what's going on? It just ends so with a massive cliffhanger, and they can't, you know, what happens to Desmond's dad? They can't just leave. I mean, they can't just, depending on when because in Assassin's Creed 4 you play as a researcher from Sturgo, and so when is that set? Is that set before the end of the world stuff? Is the Abstergo researcher using playing as Connor's grandfather at the same time as Desmond? Is Desmond's playing as Connor? When is the research, Abstergo researcher stuff going on? What time? Where does it take place in the timeline? If it takes place, if the Abstergo researcher is in the Animus after the end of the world stuff, they can't just be like, oh, the end of the world happened, that this stuff happened, and then continue it. They have to explain what happened after that. I'm sorry, whoever said the soundtrack for Assassin's Creed 3 is bad, they're idiots. The soundtrack for each Assassin's Creed game is amazing. I just feel like Assassin's Creed Revelations was really not necessarily. I don't think it was a cash grab. I just think it was. They made it so there was something. There was Assassin's Creed for that year, and before Assassin's Creed 3 came out, you know, because they were like, Assassin's Creed 3 is not ready yet, so we're gonna make Revelations to fill the gap. I don't know, because it really, like, I feel like Assassin's Creed 3 is the storyline's a lot more heavy and deep than Revelations. So yeah, I hate credits you can't skip. Now I'm gonna do all the side stuff because that's what I do. Because the story really doesn't end. Connor's story doesn't end, which I really like. The Desmond's story ends, and the present day story ends, but Connor's story keeps going on with the frontier missions and Achilles and his friends, which is a really cool way of like still continuing it without having just nothing to do. We get to the end now, by the looks of it. I still don't understand. I don't understand it. It's just very confusing. The story is very confusing. They can't just, they can't just blow over it in Assassin's Creed. Epilogue. I don't understand the epilogue. I don't understand why people don't like Connor. I really like Connor. Isn't the epilogue... I never did that. The epilogue stuff. I never did the, those things. Whatever they're called. I don't know if there's actually something after that or not. I think the epilogue is literally just the free roaming bit afterwards and doing the side missions. That's what the epilogue is. Because there's still one Templar to kill. There's one Templar to kill that's like a side mission. You could have used a tree. And that is the end. And then didn't they add this... Oh, no, there's actually more. There's more? There's more. There's a bit more. I know there's a bit more. I'm going to have a look. See, I love the animations a lot more. I think the animations and the free running is a lot better. Even though it wasted it because there's basically no free running. Where is it? Oh, it's in the... It's over in the frontier. I really hope the Assassin's Creed 4 still has the Animus stuff, like you just saw. because it's part of the series, and if I don't have it, I think it's not gonna, you know, they're taking more away. Because really, Assassin's Creed 1 was an Assassin's game. It really was. You know, you'd get your target, you go to the city, then you go to the headquarters in the city, and then you spend about like half an hour to an hour, you know, investigating, and then you would attack. And it's awesome. But then Assassin's Creed 2 basically had a bit of that, but not much. What is that? Main mission? New York. I don't understand this bit. I don't understand this bit. Please someone tell me what this is. I don't understand this at all. First of all, where did
If you're hungry, I've extra.
Where did the villagers go? I never understood that.
Where is everyone?
Gone west. Been a while since they left. Seems some fella from New York was granted the land by Congress.
What?
Seeing it happen more and more. Government says they don't take land that's already owned, but
How could this have happened?
we're on our own now. No more merry English parts and labour, which means we gotta go at it ourselves. Gotta pay for it too. Selling land is quick and easy, not quite so nasty as taxes. And since some say they're what started the old war, ain't no rush to bring 'em back. Clever men, these new leaders of ours. They know not to push it just yet. Too soon for taxes. Too British.
Thank you.
Be safe.
Alright. I've always found Assassin's Creed story quite hard hitting, and at least the third one anyway. Makes you think. See, that's the weapon I bought. That's the only weapon I bought. I thought I'm just gonna buy a 2 massive anti weapon to see what it's like to use it. And I used it, and that's it. So I'm still confused with the epilogue. I never understood it. I never understood what that man was there for. I never understood where the villagers were gone. I mean, Benjamin Franklin's pages, I mean, they're basically, like, gone instantly. They mention it at the beginning, and then they barely ever mention it again. And then it's not like in Assassin's Creed 2 when you collect the feathers. That's a big deal. And it's, I mean, I personally, I think people said, people said the Frontier was boring. I think the Frontier is the main star of it. Because America's boring. American's just like a normal, like, you know, houses. It's just been built, so it's nothing actually there. So, you know, Rome is amazing because it's Rome. I mean, and then you got Assassin's Creed 2, there was like 5 places. There was like Venice, Florence. That was crazy.
Mister, please, can you...
No.
Mister, please.
even Revelations had Istanbul, which was a pretty cool place. Then Assassin's Creed has always had like those historical buildings, those set-piece buildings that you climb up to them. In this game, there's none of that at all. No buildings were a massive part of Assassin's Creed. In this game, they're not at all. And I think they're going to bring that back in the 4th one, or the 6th one. Let's call it Assassin's Creed 6. That's what it is. So Brotherhood's the 3rd one, Revelation's actually the 4th one, Assassin's Creed 3 is actually the 5th one, 4 is actually 6. Yay! I mean, obviously, Rome and Istanbul have got a personality to it. America really doesn't. And that's a huge problem. Yeah. That the other ones didn't have is that you get spotted instantly in this game, as you see, and that basically prohibits you from going on the rooftops. And it didn't. There was none of that in the other 2 games. You didn't get spotted instantly. You got spotted, but they didn't like instantly be like, you know, start shooting you. I never understood this either.
America has no need for your services, back to Britain in a box.
I think they're just sending Britain back. Oh dear.
Death to the oppressor! Cut them down!
They're slaves, aren't they? That's still going on. I still don't understand the epilogue. Now where? Son of a... It's a long video. I don't know where this video is going at all. You can't do that anymore. You can't do the jump thing where you would like go down like Spider-Man and then jump. You can't do that anymore. Take that away. I mean, you can tell it's made by a different team. It was made by Ubisoft, but it was still made by a different team in Ubisoft because they got about 100 teams. So, it's in Boston now. Come on. The guns are silly. That's one thing. I hate the guns because in Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood, you had that Da Vinci's gun, which you shot it, reloaded instantly, and now they're useless. You shoot your gun, it takes like 30 seconds to reload it. You're like, ugh. And they're useless in combat now. Whoa. What's going on?
All right, we're up and running.
I don't understand this. What is this? What is this? I don't understand this.
Nicely hacked, but hacked. The worm found 3 pivots before failing, so we've got those. You need to locate.
Is this the Abstergo researcher that they can go into any animus without being an ancestor now?
It's a sweet bit of hacking on my part, if I dare say. Each pivot detects the others in proximity. There should be 12 total. Every one you find is supposed to produce a hex cipher, and that's what we're after. Once you find them all, we'll sequence the code, package the data, and Bob's your uncle. Now don't putz around too much in revolutionary America. I know it's tempting.
See, it's not... Desmond anymore. It's an Abstergo researcher, I'm telling you. Because you know in Assassin's Creed 4, they said anyone can now get into the Animus. The Abstergo has made it so now anyone can get to the Animus without being an ancestor. And I bet you it's that researcher they're talking about, and that's going to be in Assassin's Creed 4.
So I've planted 2 of our pivots. Not easy from my end, believe you me. But there they are. You can see those 2 activating a buried one. Kinda. If you drop the 3rd one we have, the buried pivot's precise location should resolve. Then go gather the hex cipher, rinse, and repeat. If you get a chance, I'd love to see Franklin's glass harmonica in person. Just a side note. Have fun!
I still don't understand this. I never understood the pivot nonsense. Do you? Do you get it? I never got it. I'm gonna look up online and do this and see what happens when you collect them all. I never did it. I got about, I think there's 12, isn't there? And I think I got about 8 or 9. So that's my final thoughts. And I don't understand what this pivot nonsense is. I never understood it. It's like those things in Assassin's Creed 2 where you collect 20 of them. You do those 20 puzzles. I never did those. I did about 18 of them, I think. So, and you got that Adam and Eve little cutscene, and I don't know what these are. I don't think anyone understood what the epilogues were.